Western and Southern, we can help make financial security simple. Money can be complicated. Financial terms and investment options can be a little overwhelming. But there's no need to wade through the confusion on your own, because Western and Southern Life has experienced field personnel throughout the United States who will translate the financial jargon for you. We can help you do right things to get the most out of your money. Western and Southern, W&S. Our first speaker this evening will be Mark Gidari. He aspired to fly since the age of 3. First solo flight was December 31st of 1993. He's currently a licensed commercial pilot. He is a Gold Seal flight instructor. He's a member of the Tampa Flight Standard District Office Safety Team. He flies single-engine and multi-engine jets. And he is speaking tonight for 10 to 12 minutes. He will share his title, but I present to you Mark Gidari.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Barbara, on your way from your home this evening, I'm assuming you're coming from your home, to Suncoast Toastmasters, did you take a look or a stop or of how you felt, whether you were feeling okay? Ronit, I'm not sure if you are on any particular medications, but did you take any medications today?
No, I'm not on any medication that I should be.
Okay. Share with me. Maria, did you encounter any stress today? And is that something that affected your travel from home to Suncoast Toastmasters?
Yes.
Okay. Terry,
Yes.
did you by chance have a drink prior to leaving your house today and driving to Suncoast Toastmasters?
It's the only way I can handle Toastmasters.
Greg, I saw you yawning before. Do you have any fatigue that you're experiencing right now?
Yes, but it will go away by the time I give my speech.
The last thing I'll share with you guys is that I did not eat prior to coming here because of nerves. So, what does all of this mean? Why am I sharing all of this with you all? These are some of the considerations that we take for granted as people that drive. Now, the correlation between that and my talk tonight is aviators every day, every hour, every minute around the world have to make some of the similar decisions and thought processes. Did I eat? Did I take my medication? Suncoast Toastmasters and distinguished guests, my talk this evening is about aeronautical decision making and situational awareness. As a member of the FAA Flight Standards District Team and also a certified flight instructor, one of the things that is a challenge to me training new people is to make them aware of these two things up front. It's said that the first thing that imprints in your brain is the first thing that you remember. So these two topics are very important. Now this means nothing, I know, to any of you all. But what this does mean here, and I'm going to step out of the way just so everyone can see it. This is just a chart showing the percentage of general aviation accidents and all the different phases of flight on the bottom from taxi to landing. Now we can see here in these ranges you have takeoff and landing, cruise and maneuvering. Consistently over the history of aviation, this has always been the areas that there's always been issues. And a lot of the issues tend to boil down to those two things: aeronautical decision-making and situational awareness. Terry,
Yes.
so I'm going to pick on you again.
It's all right.
What do we have here?
We have an inverted, well, no, actually, we have an aircraft that has descended too low and caught itself into some wires.
Right, and for the rest of you, somebody had a bad day, right? So I make no assumption who knows what exactly happened, but a lot of times I would hope to not assume that that pilot would have not made a bad decision to put them in that situation. It could have been the aircraft. Aeronautical decision-making, defined, is decision-making in a unique environment, which is aviation. And it's a systematic mental approach or process by which pilots make their decisions to get a specific desired output. And it's based on all the information that they're able to get. The FAA has identified what's called the 5 hazardous attitudes that affects aeronautical decision-making. The first is anti-authority. Don't tell me. Can figure it out. The second one is impulsivity. Come on, let's go, we gotta go. The third and the fourth, macho. I can do this. We know aviation, Top Gun, Tom Cruise. It's macho, right? All right, resignation, what's the use? And then the final one is invulnerability. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an engineer, this is just a little, I can figure this out. I deal with more complex stuff every day. It won't happen to me. Some of the things that can be done to mitigate these challenges are waiting for the weather to improve, also flying with another pilot, and also taking stock of some of the things that I talked about earlier as far as taking your medications, or maybe if you're experiencing any stress, don't fly that day. All these things, you're in an environment where you have to multitask to the second or the third power. When I opened the talk today, some of you might have not realized this, but I was actually using this acronym here. In aviation, we use paper checklists, and we also use mnemonics to try to remember a lot of the things that we are supposed to remember. The FAA has come up with a lot of different things over the years to try to help pilots to make better decisions. So what I did in the very beginning was the I'm safe checklist. Illness, am I feeling well today? If I'm not feeling well, it's probably not a good idea for me to go and fly and get up there, pressurized oxygen and all this type of stuff. Medication. Medication does not mix, well, depending on what it is. Correction, not like you can't fly on medication, but certain things does. Stress. You know, if you had a stressful day, you have something going on at home, your mind may not necessarily be there. And if you're in an environment where you need to be focused, this is not the time to be flying if you're stressed. Alcohol. Obviously, we hear the stories time and time again of different pilots getting busted for drinking or something like that. Aviation and planes, like cars, they don't mix. Fatigue, obviously. You got to be well rested. And this is not another issue that comes up in the news a lot with the FAA about crew rest. Eating. Obviously, can be a very cranky person if you don't eat, and then that affects your decision-making process. It affects all of us differently, so you have to eat. Another mnemonic or checklist is PAVE. Is pilot in command, aircraft, environment, and external pressures. So, pilot in command, who's in charge of the airplane? We have to be clear, whether it's recreational, commercial, military, whatever, there's always one person by law in charge of the airplane. Aircraft, do I know my aircraft? Sometimes we're so enthusiastic just to jump in an airplane or a new airplane where we may not be able to meet the different stressors that present themselves when you're up there. And of course the environment. There's so many different dynamics that are going on all the time with planes coming at you, air traffic control talking to you, passengers throwing up, you know. Nighttime. Sometimes a lot of recreational pilots don't have the opportunity to get as much night training as your commercial or your military pilots. Then the final thing, which is touched on earlier, is external pressures. What do I have going on in my life? I could be a corporate pilot and Frank does not care. He needs to go somewhere and this is your job or he'll get somebody else. You have to make a decision because the FAA is going to hold you responsible as the pilot in command, regardless of what the boss says. Sometimes that's a tough decision. All right, situational awareness. So we have this funny cartoon here that says maybe one of the passengers has an idea of where we are. I'm going to take a quick look at a video here. Hopefully we can get some audio. You all on this?
Coming back here the day after the time I
Tia, what do you think happened here?
I'm not sure.
Victor was flying with it.
I don't want to ask the aviation person. I want someone else to guess. Danny, what do you think happened here? What did you don't have to analyze. Just tell me what you think.
Bad landing?
Right. That is correct. What the situation was, and which deals with situational awareness, is you had an instructor and you had a pilot in the cockpit. And because of distraction and the instructor not being aware of the horn going off or the pilot, and they're so caught up, they ended up actually landing with the gear up. So that noise you heard going off was the gear horn. Now this is a constant problem in aviation. I've even seen it myself, and I can tell you guys offline about that. But it can happen to anyone. So the key here again is to be aware and manage distractions appropriately. We have several different components of situational awareness. And in conclusion, again, just like the aeronautical decision-making process, fatigue, stress, work overload, and distractions are the things that we have to control in order to positively impact our decision-making process. Thank you.